data, demographic, land use data, all in, I mean, originally we were trying to get to a really nice finished visualization map, but we realized that our biggest hurdle, which was most of the semester, was working on just connecting the pipes and bringing all the data into one place. So now we're ready to sort of take it to the next step of creating applications with it.
So is the end game to strategize where TOD would best be suited?
The end game is really to find out what transit planners want to do if they have this data all in the same place and what their needs are so that we can actually create an application that helps them. So it's still kind of open-ended as to what direction.
Yeah, it's not necessarily TOD rated specified. We threw that up as an example because of the nature of pulling in some open data sets and what they were doing with it. But it's not specifically just
So
for
essentially you
TOD.
want to provide transit planners with a menu of options, and you're saying, hey, look, this is a much better way to think about myriad things. What do you need? And then we can piece that together for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so actually, I would like to see this as like, I don't know that we have the capacity to do it as a project, like a full project, but if someone, had this course next semester or whenever it comes up again, I think that sort of the survey effort of transit planners would be really interesting to sort of feel this going forward.
I have questions too, but I get you guys on the side, so.
Okay.
Well, does anybody else? Okay.
Yeah, I understand that you guys had limited time. I wanted to ask about, I assume that you're planning to visualize all the data that is spatial, such as Yelp and Interest and land use and demographics. I was wondering, like, sort of what are the steps and challenges in terms of integrating all of that? Because I'm sure they will use their own APIs.
Yeah, so I mean, one of the big challenges is, we're trying to make it dynamic. Every time a user visits a site, we make those requests to Yelp and Google Places. And we're actually limited by the licensing. We can't actually save that data anywhere on a local database or anything like that. So that's one limitation. The other one is sheer size of requests. So if we're asking for all this geographic data and for a huge radius, or one of the biggest things is along a route. Like if we wanted to see all the restaurants along a route, that's possibly 100 stops. So 100 lat longs that we send to, yeah. So it's I guess as far as processing and broadband connection and making it not take forever to load. So those
Do
are
you think
And
it's
also-
possible to display on a map some of those point of interest and land use?
Yeah, it's possible. The other last thing that you said was also the amount of time you take to make one graphic look good. And if anyone's in Rosenstein's class, you'll know you spend some time with it, but then to make that so that it's automatic, programmatic, and happens every single time, the leap between that has been really challenging. So we could probably make some real cool graphs once, and then to do it over and over and over through a web service is probably where one of the big challenges is.
And the variation across agencies introduces, we say that it's great because it's all the same across different agencies, but there are actually some considerations that we have to deal with.
Go ahead.
Oh, just one more comment.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just one possible application I was thinking of. Have you familiar with Trulia? It's a real estate listing website. One thing I could think of this is, instead of transit users, but the public using it, one way to think about that would be, so what if people are shopping for a house, and right now in Trulia you have crime data, and you have school ratings for public and private schools, and then you have some of the Google Places, but it's a bit spotty. And the thing is that they're on separate maps. For whatever reason, you can't combine it. So something like that would be extremely useful to overlay with real estate listings so that people can use all this as criteria for their decision.
Sure.
So
I think that goes, I think apartment score has
Well,
support.
like
Walk score guys are
walk
Yeah,
score
walk score,
or
yeah.
transit score, but they don't, even walk score and transit score, they don't combine. They're the same people, but they don't combine the metrics.
But
So
then,
that's-
but sometimes when you think about renters versus buyers are in it for the long term.
Oh, sure.
So, they're thinking about these things as investments, and if you can prove to them that their housing decisions, you saved $100,000 by moving a little bit further out, but let's think about how much you're gonna pay for that second car you need to keep in your household, so it helps you really think through those
Yeah.
issues.
All right, thanks guys.
Thanks.